Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Alvan Fazlurrahman, and with my friend Syams Fajar, we would like to present our result of mini research. It's about the mini research is about language content analysis of English textbooks class 9. Let's start with language form and language use. Language is a very complex phenomenon that occurs in society. The use of language is constantly changing. In another sense, it is dynamic. For example, speakers must express what they mean through a grammatical, lexical, and phonological system of language. If we look at the material contained in the textbook Think Globally, Act Locally, we can see how many examples of conversations in English are included by the author in the book. These conversations have been adapted to real everyday use. The expressions used also contain grammatical, lexical, and phonological system of language correctly. So it can be concluded that this book is in accordance with the language form and language use checklist formulated by Chinese Word. Next is about grammar. What is grammar? Grammar is very important because when speakers try to convey the meaning, they should follow grammatical rules or the structures of sentences, phrases, or words in an acceptable way so that the listeners understand the meaning easily. An English textbook should contain grammar in the materials. The grammar materials were arranged in easy to read and also contain the formulas. The English textbook Think Globally, Act Locally doesn't contain much grammar. The grammar that is included in the material is only in the form of signs or symbols in the form of bold or italic on the words that you want to emphasize in the book. Maybe because this book focuses on communicative matters, this book only contains a little material about grammar. Evaluating the grammar content or a case study. The preparation of grammar material in the English textbook is not done carelessly. The grammar material must be adapted to the needs of students at a certain level. For example, English textbook for junior high school students. The grammar materials provided must be at a basic level. Likewise, in English textbooks for college students, the correct grammar material is at the advanced level. In the textbook Think Globally, Act Locally, the grammar material provided is very appropriate for third grade junior high school students. Although the amount of grammar material in this book is very small, it is in accordance with the needs of junior high school students. Vocabulary. Vocabulary is no less important than grammar. Even when communicating, sometimes good vocabulary skills are more helpful than grammar. The vocabulary compiled in the English textbook make the number of vocabulary absorbed by the students increase or less. In collecting vocabulary in his head, students are very dependent on surrounding conditions. In the English textbook Think Globally, Act Locally, the conversations provided as materials in this book contain a large amount of vocabulary. The vocabulary use is also based on the condition of students' daily conversations, so that students can practice directly. The vocabulary taught in this book is written by bringing them together directly in conversation or text, not in separate forms. In addition, this book often instructs students to use a dictionary. This indirectly invites students to read a lot of vocabulary written in the dictionary. Phonology. Phonology is the science of the vocabulary of language sounds and their distribution. We find it difficult to learn phonology through books because articulation, emphasis, difficult tones in language are difficult to interpret through written form. However, in some English textbooks, articulation, emphasis, and so on can be written through symbolic forms such as arrows, dots, and so on. Unfortunately, in Think Globally, Act Locally, it doesn't contain the phonological aspect all. This book only contains many conversations that will be practiced by teachers and students so that it becomes the only source of phonological material in this book. Okay, the next page will be presented by my friends, Syams Fajar. Syams Fajar, time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Syams Fajar. Now I'm going to continue the presentation. Thank you for Alvan for the presentation. Now it's my turn to present the integration of pronunciation teaching with other work. Because this English textbook doesn't contain phonological aspect, so there is no integration between pronunciation and other material aspect. This book contains only many conversations that can be practiced by teacher and student. Only this conversation become a source of phonology learning by student. Discourse. Textbook think globally act locally contain discourse in the form of text and conversation. The text and conversation in this book have been written in coherence and cohesion. The coherence of discourse is an important aspect of text quality. It includes how sentences are connected as well as how the entire document is laid out to convey information to reader. Cohesion refers to how sentence and paragraph idea stick together to support the controlling idea. It emphasizes the connection of ideas at the sentence level. Style and appropriacy. Language is highly context sensitive and stylistically variable. We should examine coursebook from an appropriacy standpoint to see how far they go in preparing learner to use appropriate style in various situations. Speakers employ a variety of linguistic style to communicate in ways that supplement the more literal meaning of words and sentences. Adopting an informal style of speech writing, for example, is a statement about the relationship between the people communicating with one another. In Think Globally Act Locally textbook, there are several style and appropriacy, but not too much. Varieties of English. This book follows international English. There is no focus on British English or American English. Therefore, this book can be easily studied by junior high school students and can be practiced in conversation with fellow Indonesian or internationally. The last is conclusion. Based on the result of the analysis above, there are several checklists that this book doesn't fulfill. For example, this book doesn't contain phonology and grammar lesson. In English, grammar and phonology are very important. However, we believe the author has his own consideration in the preparation of this English textbook. Maybe because this book is intended for junior high school students, the phonology and grammar aspects are too difficult for them. In addition, the vocabulary in this book is lacking. Vocabulary will be easier to learn if it is more structured, while the vocabulary in this book is less structured. Apart from the things we mentioned above, this book is very good and worthy to be used as a learning resource for grade 3 junior high school students because the material provided is accordance with the revised 2013 curriculum. That's all for our presentation. Sorry if there are mistakes we made. Thank you for attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.